welcome to another edition of the MyT Sports Minute. I am your host, Colin Taylor. It is December 9th, it's a Wednesday. About low 70s. But, we ain't worried about that. We got a lot to talk about today. Recap week 13, talk about week 14 in the NFL, how the Patriots losing air, and a whole lot more. But you know what I said, regardless of the time, regardless of the weather, it's always a good time to talk some sports. So let's start talking. Yeah, we have a whole lineup set for you today. NBA, NFL again, some UFC. Like I said, I'm not going to take shots at Rousey. I love her far too much to do stuff like that. About the Patriots losing some air. We'll talk about some fantasy football. My picks, your picks, everybody's picks. The playoffs for the fantasy football coming up. NFL playoffs as they come up. Rookie of the year for the NBA and early talks about MVP. Like I said, we're going to get right into it. And talk about the Undefeateds. Yes, Golden State Warriors and the Carolina Panthers. Because I think without these two teams, the whole entire aspect of the NFL and the sports talk, NBA's changes. Like, for instance, I asked you last week, real simple. I said, Curry's heating up, Kobe's retiring, LeBron James who? Because, end of the day, I wonder who we're talking about. And, yes, Golden State and the way they're shooting this ball, that's basically them in a nutshell. They are on fire every time we see them. For instance, the other day I go to turn on the Pacers game because they say that Pacers may take this team, and they say that about every team. I guess they have to find a way to make it compelling. And it's a 30-point game, and I'm like, yeah, I'm done with this. I go to watch something else I went to go watch. Oh, I just switched it on to wrestling. I was behind. I switched it on to Monday Night Raw. Yeah, I was watching on a Tuesday. But like I said, it changes almost everything that we talk about. But I don't want to talk about them. I want to talk about exactly about what these teams are doing. Golden State. Hey, I don't want to talk about Golden State first. We're going to talk about Killer. Listen. That's Cam for me. Every single time there's a shadow of doubt this year, he has just been looking phenomenal. And his run this year makes you think about his run when he was in college. I don't watch enough college sports to talk eloquently about this, like as much as I probably would like to. But he definitely did some things in college that should have raised anybody's eyebrow. I think he went from like a junior college, may help them shine, went on a national stage, to the lower team in that state, help them shine. What was it, Auburn? Something like that, right? Help them shine, help them win a national championship, become the first round pick, had all the scrutiny of his Heisman or his winnings, then go through his ups and downs through this season or through the league, then finally loses his number one receiver after all these years, gets a guy that he gets to replace him and loses him again this year, gets in a car accident last year, and hasn't lost a game outside of that playoff game since. Yeah, he's on every level. He's doing it. So I would absolutely love to see Carolina win and just to see them dab all over the place. Like, Cam Newton is on fire, but not anywhere close to doing what Stephen Curry and Golden State Warriors doing. Oh my God, what was his name? Klay Thompson? 30 points. Like it was nothing. Stephen Curry puts up 23 points, and they say he has a slow game. This team is consistently on fire. They were blowing Indiana out, and just took their foot off that pedal just a little bit too much, just eased up, just a little bit too much, and brought them back into it. But before that, everything was going their way. Every single thing going their way. So much so where you didn't even have to watch. Then, and let's talk about what was watched. Golden State, I don't know. I don't. So, Golden State is on. They're chasing the Lakers record now, which I think is like 33 consecutive regular season wins. I think they play their 33rd regular consecutive season win when they play Cleveland. But I think that's only the 27th or 28th game that will be this year. So they have some challenges still. They're not out of the woods, but they're making things so interesting. Like I said, while in the NFL, you kind of have to go undefeated. It's the reason why we're no longer talking about Tom Brady and them boys. Because you understand, while Tom Brady and the New England Patriot and Bill Belichick were undefeated, we were talking about how the Patriots are sticking it to the NFL with this big middle finger with not having any losses. And now they lose 2 in a row. We'll touch more on that later. Cam, in football, you kind of have to go undefeated to have that monumental statement kind of record. In basketball, you don't need 82 straight games. So, even if Golden State loses to Cleveland, their pace says, holy crap, they're still destined to break records. And that's what's going to keep them so much more relevant than what LeBron James is doing in Cleveland and why we ain't talking about him. It's going to keep him just that much more relevant than Kobe playing his final season. That much more relevant than, I'm going to add this into the fold now, Paul George as comeback player of the year with what he's doing in Indiana. Understand? He's overshadowing all of that. Yes, he's overshadowing Kobe Bryant's retirement, Paul George's comeback, and whatever LeBron James is doing over there in Cleveland. Listen, you know what? We may also be tired of whatever LeBron James is doing in Cleveland, because this is what LeBron James does every single year, with regardless of what kind of team he's on. I keep telling you this, as much as I don't care for LeBron James, he is that one guy that can go on any team to this day and automatically make them a playoff team, if not go so far to say a conference championship contender. And that is phenomenal. As much as I don't like go. Ronda Rousey is interesting to me. Right, and I told you I didn't want to bash her. So like I said, we're changing subjects all around. We're going UFC because the UFC fight is coming up this weekend, and we get to see, who is it? McGregor versus. Shoot, crap! How does that name just slip my mind? Who is it? McGregor versus Aldo. Yeah, I think it's like that. McGregor versus Aldo. Basically, the dude has been champ for 10 years. Remember what I told you last year? No, not last year, but last week's show? That basically your champion drives your division. Aldo, now this is where, this is kind of what I'm talking about. Aldo is sitting there at champ, and he's pretty much a born champ. And now we have McGregor that's coming up through the ranks and just taking out people. Now he gets a shot. Now everybody's interested in this division and what's going on with this fight. Like, really interested in this fight. If he wins, holy crap, the massive explosion that is gonna... Well, granted, let me not let you know that McGregor is champ for the people that don't know. He was the interim champ because I think Aldo got... He couldn't fight, got injured, or I don't know if he popped hot. Something happened and he couldn't participate in a fight, and so they had to do an interim championship fight, and that's how McGregor got that championship. So McGregor is the current champion, and he is smack-talking his wave as the interim champ, holding an interim belt. and making this division interesting as he goes against the current champ and looking to beat up on him. Now, talk about being beat up on. I told you I don't want. I'm not gonna sit here and take shots at Rousey. Love me too much about Rousey, but I hear what she's saying, and I haven't heard what Helms said because there's been something that keeps popping up saying that Helms' responses kills Rousey, and I really don't care what Helms has to say right now. What I do care is to hear from Rousey, and Rousey's like, listen, she has to do it. It's like she has to beat this chick. Like she has to get this shit done. It is what it is. There's nothing more than there's nothing less to it. She has to win. Now, I really don't. Okay, so I'm gonna make this real brief because I don't want to make it sound like I'm some kind of retarded soothsayer, psychic, because I'm not. But when I didn't think she was gonna lose the fight before she started fighting. Let's just put it that way. After she got hit that first time, yeah, I thought it was a possibility. And I'll just tell you what I saw. I didn't want to talk about this last year because it's kind of depressing. It's like when I saw Mike Tyson lose for the first time. Like I didn't want to talk about it, because I knew that Mike Tyson had a problem with guys with range, and this was one guy that was sneaky strong when he hit, and his range, like he knew how to use his range better than probably anybody. And Mike Tyson had gotten to a place where he had become a hook uppercut power puncher, and really got away from his jab that he used to use as when he was a younger fighter. So let's move over to Ronda Rousey, and I use Mike Tyson to compare her because they had similar runs and similar feats of dominance, and we're gonna talk about it. So I'm over here watching the fight, and Rousey takes that first punch, and I'm like, oh, there it goes. Like everybody got a punch, they get punched in the face, only because I've never seen her take such a flush shot so early in a fight. Maybe my memory is off, but I don't recall at all whatsoever. Next, we're watching some more time goes off, and I see a mouthpiece fly, and I'm like, oh no, there it goes. She's gonna be looking for the mouthpiece. I said, there goes the mouthpiece. Next thing you know, like there's gonna be an issue with Vaseline in her corner. Anybody that knows what happened, like that's what happened with Mike Tyson. Like, he was searching for his mouthpiece on the floor. He had a problem with his eyes swelling. Like he couldn't use petroleum jelly or something like that. He was allergic to it. Something weird. Now, granted, that wasn't Ronda Rousey's mouthpiece that flew out, but I didn't know that at the time. And even though it wasn't hers, it was an ominous sign for me to say what I said. And from there, everything just went downhill. She just never fully recovered. And next thing you know, she's backing out, unprotected, head kick. Night. Yeah, I told you. I ain't going to talk too much about this. Like, I love me some Ronda Rousey. But she says she has to get it done. Hopefully she gets it done. We're going to cut away for a while. I'm going to sip on some yak, pay some bills. Not even pay a bill. I'm going to pick up a sponsor.
Then head down to Multivest Games and get the value you deserve. Multivest. Find them at 830 183rd Street, Miami Gardens, Florida, 33169. Located just 5 minutes from Tootsie's and Sun Life Stadium in the plaza across from Snappers. Multivest Games. Save more, play more.
Yeah, seriously, that was really just a yak break. Like, that's all I want to do was sip on a little bit of yak. I'm not even done here yet. So, as we talk about the negative that Ronda Rousey went through, I want to talk about the positive that she also went through. That, I shouldn't say that she went through, because it's not really directed at her. So, as I'm sitting here, just thinking about her and women's sports, and I told you where there's a fear of what I had for that women's mixed martial arts division, weight class or whatever it is, to see if there was going to be enough excitement or spark that was going to continue if she's not a prominent figure at the helm or the head. But I was thinking of the heads of sports, and of women's sports. And so it started to make me think. Ironically, at the same time I'm thinking about this, ESPN makes things just super easy, but doesn't make it any easier of what I'm particularly looking for in my head. Of who would be, because we do this all the time. We do Mount Rushmores. We do the Mount Rushmore of basketball. We do the Mount Rushmore of sports. We do the Mount Rushmore of athletes. We do the Mount Rushmore of baseball, of football, of everything. What about the Mount Rushmore of women's sports? All in all, and currently, and because if we went to all time, then there's way too many names. Because even while names like Serena can get mentioned in both statements, you're looking at like Lisa Leslie's and the Gail Divas, or whatever her name was at the Worlds, the Pat Summits. There's so many people that can come to mind that I really was thinking about more currently. When you hear about this female athlete, you automatically recognize her. It automatically causes a feeling, automatically causes a reaction. You feel some type of way. Are there transcendent female figures? And can we make a Mount Rushmore? Just 4. And I don't know if I'm to blame because I don't know more. And I tell myself all the time so that I'm going to watch more so that I can get more up to date on it. Let me back up a little bit and just give you what I have. So, for nothing, I'm giving it to Ronda Rousey. For one, she earns a spot on there. Right next to her, before her, however you want to put it. This is not in any particular order. Is Serena Williams for what she has done. I don't know where I go after this because this is very weird to me. Because like I said, I'm looking for the name now and a level of success. I just don't want random women that you just may know. I don't want the Anna Kournikovas of the world, basically. I don't want name without any kind of success. I'm not putting, even if she is currently still playing tennis, she will never be in my Mount Rushmore. She hasn't done anything. We just know her. So when I said, there's known and they cause a feeling, and a reaction, even though she does, she's not the one I'm looking for. We have Serena for that. She's the winner. She's the champ. So with that, I don't know if you can double up and put her sister beside her. Is that possible? Or do we just leave tennis alone since we have one representative there? Switch over to a whole nother sport, and who would go now? Is it Della Donna? Is it Candace Parker? I know there's also another 10-time MVP. Do I use her? If I'm looking for current, am I limited to just the current players, or can I use a current coach? Can I use the female coach in the NFL or the female coach for the Spurs? So I'm wondering. So and then let me back up. So let's say I go Rousey and I go Serena. Right? I don't know if for some odd reason. So maybe then this, because I was thinking maybe I can use the whole entire women's U.S. national team. But once again, that's not giving me one particular female to put on Mount Rushmore. Now I'm putting a whole team there. And almost everything is a team sport, except for what Serena does. And Ronda Rousey. So maybe that's why that makes them so much easier to stick out, because we see them in their individual sport dominating. When individuals dominate in their individual sport, Della Don, Candace Parker, where are we putting them? Do they get a Mount Rushmore spot? Now, if I'm going to put the women's national team, I have to figure out on who their person is. Is it Becky Wambach? Is she that name, or is it Hope Solo? I may put something out. I'm gonna see how. I'm gonna learn how to do a poll. I'm gonna put something out there and find out who would I put in a female's Mount Rushmore of current women's athletes. That I want to know. Now with that, I'm gonna take a break.
Ripped off by those other guys, then head down to Multiverse Multivest Games and get the value you deserve. Multivest. Find them at 830 183rd Street, Miami Gardens, Florida, 33169. Located just 5 minutes from Tootsie's and Sun Life Stadium in the plaza across from Snappers. Multivest Games. Save more, play more.
So with that, we're going to go right into what I want to consider the multi-best games of the week. And as you know, the multi-best games of the week are brought to you by, well, the NFL. I want to bring, so let's run this back. We're going to bring you the MyT Sports Games of the Week, sponsored by Multi-Best Games. Multi-Best. Play more, save more, get more. That's how we do it. Something like that. Don't worry. We're going to get better at this. Don't worry. Every day, every week, I'm getting better. I told you, I'm finding more and more stuff in here to tinker with, to add. Just so I can bring you extra stuff. You know, more things, stuff, and things. But, like I said, I just want to get to the multi. So, we're going to talk about these games of the week that I have in here. And most of them aren't going to be a surprise. I have 4 this week. And we only had 1 last week. Because a lot last week didn't really interest me. There's a lot of very interesting things going on this week. First game of the week. And I think this is the first game of the week for me. And which I also believe is the first game of the week. 8-4 Minnesota versus 10-2 Arizona. Arizona is sitting at the top of their division. Minnesota is tied for theirs. Minnesota goes on the road to take on Arizona. Arizona has been absolutely phenomenal. Because, listen, Carson Palmer is in my MVP talk to go along with Tom Brady. Tom Brady is no longer being mentioned in this game of the week segment because the Patriots aren't part of it. So, he's in there for me. As well as Adrian Peterson. He's probably the only running back I have in there. So I am interested to see what these 2 potential season MVPs, most valuable players can do. That defense that Arizona has is crushing. And last week, Minnesota was held in check badly. Badly. Like 19 yards last week. So, and another team that has another great defense, I'm kind of scared to see what happens. But, so we have to play the game. That's why you play the game. We're going to see if the 8-4 Minnesota Vikings can take down the 10-2 Arizona Cardinals. I got Arizona walking away with this one, unfortunately. And I got Adrian Peterson in my fantasy football league. So, there goes another BS game for me. I went 3-0 and I went 0-9. That's all I have to say about my fantasy football league right now. Next game I'm interested in. And also, no, that doesn't apply here. Then there's Pittsburgh versus Cincinnati. And while Pittsburgh is only 7-5, they're still fighting for a wild card spot. Then you have Cincinnati sitting there at 10-2. And this is also a division rivalry game. So you never know what comes out of here. This is one of those games, like, I'm not going to lie to you. This is one of them games where you miss Troy Polamalu. Because this is one of them games that he just gets up for. And he would have eaten up Andy Dalton in this game. But he's no longer here. And Pittsburgh's defense no longer does that. But what they can do is they can score. And they can score in bunches. And they're missing their number 1 running back. But D'Angelo Williams has had a monster resurgence of a career. Because I don't remember him being half this productive last year or the year before. But I may be wrong. So, they're going to be interesting. And then I've been... Listen, a lot of people are always down on Andy Dalton. But I've been a fan of Andy Dalton for some time now, mainly because I've been a fan of AJ Green for some time now, and so you kind of take one with the other because Andy Dalton isn't doing horrific job with that team and with AJ Green. He just isn't getting over that playoff hump. But they're in the playoff, but that's not, or they're in the playoff, but it was in the playoff last year. It was just that playoff hunt. But look who was in the division. You're talking about Pittsburgh in a division that was filled with Baltimore, Ray Lewis, Rex Ryan, Joe Flacco, Troy Polamalu, Ben Roethlisberger. I don't think he was there when the bus was there, but Marv Williams may have been there when all of this was going on, not Andy Dalton. So this is what Pittsburgh as a whole has had to deal with for the better part of a decade. Has been Baltimore and Pittsburgh dominance in that division. Finally, now the Ray Lewises are gone, the Ed Reeds are gone, the Troy Polamalu's are gone, the Jerome Bettises are gone. You understand? You have no more toe-tapping catches by Santonio Holmes and their wide receiving core at the top. There's no more Braylon Edwards there. There's a lot of things that are no longer there. Baltimore's a struggling team. Pittsburgh is looking for a wild card spot, but normally it was usually between Pittsburgh or Baltimore looking for a wild card spot. Now we have a new player in the game, and they're 10-2, and they're Cincinnati Bengals, and they got 3 receivers and a tight end and 2 running backs. So they never break 100 yards, but just get just enough for them to win. I don't know if they break 100 yards or not, to be honest with you, but I don't ever hear much about them, but they just do efficient work. That's going to be, like I said, division game. I would love to see Cincinnati come away with that victory. Also because I need Pittsburgh to lose because I want my Jets to win. As my Jets are also sitting at 7-5. It's probably the only AFC game it's only AFC game I'm interested in, and there's so many teams that I need to worry about for wild card spots. That are considered with the Jets, but we'll see. You know what? I haven't done my picks yet either. I'm talking about beforehand. I normally do my picks beforehand. I'm about to do my picks on the fly. We're about to see how this turns out. Where's my highlighter? Because you guys always get it here first on the podcast, and then they get it on the website later on the Facebook page, Mighty Sports Minute, Mighty Sports Minute, Facebook, something like that. Mighty Sports on Facebook. Next, it's a weird game, but Green Bay is Green Bay, and discount double check is discount double check. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers, and the heir apparent gunslinger is the heir apparent gunslinger. So 8-4 Green Bay versus 4. Or I should say 4. They're hosting Green Bay. Coming in to play them. This is the 4-8 Dallas Cowboys, and at 4-8, Dallas Cowboys are still very much in the playoff hunt. And nothing could be more shameful, but there's always, and I guess we have to start realizing this, that with parity comes some bottom of the barrel, disgusting, leftover, soupy resin-ness. It'll just like that division is a division full of my cranium. I wasn't even gonna do one today. My Richard Cranium Award. Hold on, we gonna pull that back. Hold on, pull up. My Richard Cranium Award this week goes to the whole entire NFC East. They are horrendous this year. And I'm starting to realize that we're always going to have one team like that. Which is probably the only reason for, or one, division like that. Which is probably for the only reason why we need to change how the playoffs are done and make sure that whoever comes out of that division isn't rewarded with a home game over any one of these wild card teams that are going to be playing them. Like, I'm sorry, like, they suck. And they shouldn't have a home team. Like, their team shouldn't be afforded a home game, and their fans shouldn't get a home game. And I don't care if it was my Jets. I don't care if I don't have anything personally against the Cowboys. I'm just like that division. Like, no, it should not happen. I'm sorry. Like I was saying, like I felt the same way when it happened. I think with Seattle and New Orleans a couple of years ago. I'm sorry, like they shouldn't be awarded it. You see the NBA making changes. It's time for the NFL to make that change. And yeah, I'm interested to see it because Green Bay is tied with Minnesota for first place at 8-4. So as Minnesota is struggling, is going to have a hard task ahead of them, playing Arizona. Well, Dallas is also playing for their playoff rights because if they win that division, they can make it into the playoffs. So both of these teams still have much to play for. Green Bay wants their division, and Dallas wants their division. Green Bay is tied for the division. I think Dallas is a game and a half out. So that game becomes interesting just for the simple fact that even with the level of mediocrity, even with the level of mediocrity that Dallas is playing with, it's uplifted by Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers and the fact that their division sucks and they can still make a decent run for the playoffs. God, like it just hurts even to say it. Like NFL, you have to do something. Hey, not for nothing. Last game we get? Yeah, I told you it was 4. So it's a trifecta. Nah, it would have been 3. Ha. Foursome. It's the Horsemen this week. The Mount Rushmore Week 14 game, which is probably going to change. Did my phone just vibrate? Hey, see, this is the madness I'm talking about. Like when things are supposed to be completely on silent, and they're not. That's the Knicks update. Why am I getting Knicks update? Knicks playing today at 9? Shoot. It's okay. We gotta finish this up pretty soon here so I can watch this next game. Which I hope I can actually watch today. But we'll talk about that later. Last but not least, when it comes to the games of the week, yeah, we're still doing the Multiverse Games of the Week. Multiverse Games of the Week is brought to you by Multiverse Games. Get more, save more, play more. Multiverse. Telling you. If you don't know about Multiverse Games, like, you guys really need to check them out. Like, if you think that you're being robbed on your trading value, then you should head down to Multiverse and definitely get the value you deserve. Nobody around gets you more value on your tradings than Multivest Games. They're a family-owned and operated store located just 5 minutes from the Dolphin Stadium in Miami Gardens. You should check them out. Give them a call even. 305-493-0006. The last game of the games of the week is going to be the undefeated Carolina Panthers, of course, which is another division rival game that makes me nervous, versus Atlanta. And you know why this game makes you nervous or should make you nervous? Don't look at the fact that Atlanta's 6-6. Before Atlanta was 6-6, Atlanta was 6-0. Remember that. A 5-0, a 4. They were. I don't. How many games did they go straight off? Like, I should have looked that up too. But you see what I'm saying though. Like, regardless of how many games they dropped straight, whether it's 6 games straight or it was 4 out of the last 6, before they were 6-6 at one point in time, they were like 4, 5, or 6-0. And this is a team that still has Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and Roddy White. So, at any point in time when they decide to piece everything back together, let's not forget that this team has talent, tons of talent, and they can scare a team like Carolina. But Carolina has the best defense, has one of the best defense in the league. So, if Atlanta comes in there with their struggling woes like they have been, they're gonna be in for a rude awakening very early, and they're gonna lose that game. I'm not betting against any of these home teams today. I'm taking Arizona, even though I would like to see Minnesota win. I'm taking Cincinnati, taking Green Bay, taking Carolina. That should be interesting. Now, as I said, we're just gonna go through the league real quick and see whatever matchups we have in here. I'm not really concerned about much. You know what? I'm not even gonna do that yet. Well, let's see. Yeah, let's take a quick peek. Buffalo, Philly. You know what? Perfect. Buffalo, Philly is definitely it's the game now. Sean McCoy, you were a candidate. you didn't win it. Like, you were a candidate, and if I was gonna give it to you, then I was gonna have to give it to Ronda Rousey, like, for saying shit, and give it to myself. But you said the word shit, you cursed it, but rehearsed it. We drop unexpectedly like bird shit, Biggie. So I wasn't mad. Like, you didn't say nothing wrong. Like, you said real simple. Chip Kelly's an intelligent man. He knows he can't call. He knows he can't come to you and shake your hand as a man. He can't say shit to you. But you slightly know better. But listen, this is where you're at. You're in Buffalo. This is the kind of person that you are. When you came there, like, you said that Chip Kelly was racist, or you felt that he was racist. Like, I don't know if you flat out called him racist, or you feel that I think you just called him racist. Yeah. And so I'm not too surprised at the fact that he can't shake your hand. Like, listen, if you called me racist, I wouldn't want to shake your hand. If I called you racist, I wouldn't want to shake your hand. Or let's put it this way. If you called me racist, I wouldn't want to shake your hand. If I think you're racist, I don't want to shake your hand. So already there's a mutual agreement that there's not going to be much handshaking that's going on here. So that game now becomes interesting only because, or has interest in it, because obviously you have a former player like LaShawn McCoy going up against his former team in Philly. Whoever has LaShawn McCoy should play him and play him strong and play him hard body. He's going for a 200-yard game. I don't know if he's gonna get it. He's going for a 200-yard game. We all know this. Players that go back to their former teams, they ball out. When there's animosity, they ball out harder. Steve Smith. Sorry to see that he's no longer there, man. That sucks. He's gonna try to come back next year too. I don't want to see him looking like Kobe. Not being able to separate from anybody. But he's a little different kind of receiver. His physical, runs routes like it's weird. So we're gonna see. We all really gonna see. Seattle, Baltimore, Seattle. Maybe San Francisco, who cares? See, I said, like, there was so much non-interest in the league. Washington, just because their division that they're sitting on top of. Indy, don't care. See, I just didn't care about a lot of these teams. Like I said, I'm gonna give you these picks, but like I said, things are happening around the league. Things are happening. The Patriots are losing air. Patriots are losing air, and they're losing bodies, and we're gonna see if they hold up. That's the thing. Can they hold up and finish out their run? Because they were being very snub-ish with their approach to this season. You saw it. Disrespectful to Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos. Disrespectful to Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos. One of the best defenses in the league. One of the best quarterbacks. You understand? The only guy being compared to you right now, or that you're in the same category as Aaron Rodgers as well, but Aaron Rodgers is a little bit younger. Like, I don't know. He's the weird, like, third child. But it's like, the third child that came 10 years later. You know, it's like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. They were they were reasonable. Like Peyton Manning came, and then the NFL decided to have another kid. You know, that was another great quarterback, and had him like 3-4 years later, and they had Tom Brady, and they were okay with that for a while. You know, because they were still holding on to some other guys like the Brett Favres of the world, and then all of a sudden it was like, you know, 10 years later, here comes, you know, we want to have another kid, and bam, here comes Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, like, there's only one guy being, and you chose to disrespect that guy, and you take your first L, and then now you take another L. And I did say I wasn't going to talk about him no more. Oh, I'm no longer in that segment. Booyah. Alright, so Patriots are losing bodies. Gronk goes out again, and as much as we love Gronk and we love to see Gronk play, listen, Gronk got ligament issues. He got bone and like Gronk ain't a soft dude, but his body just doesn't like what he does to it or what it goes through, because he's such like, I feel like he's getting hit extra hard maybe because he's that big of a guy. He's so physically imposing. It's like Shaq and Dwight Howard getting, you know, or even DeAndre Jordan getting fouled extra hard because they're these big, physical, imposing guys. LeBron James getting fouled extra hard because of because of the massive amount of steam and how strong he goes to the hole. You know, but I don't think his body likes what he does, because look, Adrian Peterson's body for the most part held up, does whatever it's doing. Maybe he needs to talk to him and find out what he's doing to maintain, because Gronk ain't lasting. Gronk isn't gonna be able to shuffle when he leaves football. You know, when he gets older, like, he's gonna be beat up. Take it from a dude with 2 knee surgeries, because he was throwing himself, bouncing it off of every wall, every obstacle, off of anything you could think of when he was in the army. Yeah, B, you're gonna have some rough days coming up for you. I feel sorry for him, but the Patriots are losing steam, and I don't mind at all. I don't mind. I like to see them lose this air. you see them get a little deflated and dejected. I want to see how they hold up. You know, a lot of they have a little bit of controversy, you know, getting thrown back their way. I want to see if they're, you know, how they hold, you know, if they're gonna maintain. But I'm gonna take a timeout, and this is gonna be a quick sidebar, just to say that I just got a text message from my friend saying that she just got an A+ on her final, or A- on her final. So congratulations to you, Deborah Segovia. Way to go, boo. Knew you could do it. Keep grinding. Keep working. I will see you, if not later this week. Listen, we're going to Orlando pretty soon, so you have to get tossed up for real. The Jets took the heart of the city last week. Like I said, we're gonna recap about last week's game. Yeah, the Jets took the heart of the city. I couldn't stop watching that game, and that game had its ups and downs. And me, for the most part, being a Jets fan, being a New Yorker, I'm invested almost in both parts of it, because I like to see the Giants do well, but of course not at the expense of my Jets. So I wanted to see the Jets pull this off, and the Jets did. And man, when the Jets are clicking, This is how the Jets look for those first 4 games of the season. You know, or first 5 games of the season. You know, for the majority part of the first 5 games of the season, this is how they looked. And the fact that they have a couple of bad losses, like to Houston, and I mean, you say to yourself, you could have been more. You could have been so much better. Like, you could have been in a better position. Like your destiny is no longer in your hand when it comes to the wild card spot, and that's your fault, because you could have had that with one more key win. You know, because now you're losing it in matchups and head to heads. That's not gonna cut it. So yeah, you take the heart of the city and you beat the Giants, you know, for the second time this season, you know, in preseason and this game. And no reason I'm counting the preseason, because even though the preseason doesn't count for much, well, guess what? The Jets and the Giants have what's considered a MetLife Bowl, so it counts for something, even if it is just bragging rights for the Jets and the Giants. Week 3, every season so far for the last couple of years. Seattle happens to be doing. I know I'm all over the place. no smooth transitions. Just jump here, jump. Yeah, I do jump cut. I'm talking jump cut. You know, Jets take the heart of the city. Bam, done over there. Made all my points. Seattle's gaining steam, and Seattle does this too. And it's so frustrating, so freaking frustrating. And probably the reason why I didn't draft Russell Wilson this year, because Russell Wilson slipped through my hands. But I'm pretty sure somebody did, and they were frustrated at some point in time because Russell Wilson just wasn't doing what he was doing for you anymore. But then he started to, and when he started to again is when Seattle started winning. Like, they do this every time. Like, they have a decent start. They cake the middle, they Twinkie fill the middle, and then they have a strong ending. It's like they bookend their season. It's really weird. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see if they're gonna finish out strong. If they can take the division, take a wild card spot, or do anything worthwhile. I mean, you're not really worried about San Francisco. I don't think they're worried about St. Louis, if I'm not mistaken. And San Francisco, Seattle. Like I said, not much here at all. The NFL. I'm realizing that not all Ryans are created equally, and it's gonna be weird, right? Because we say that the NFL's a team game, right? Team game, team this, team that, team game, and it is such a team game. But like I said, you really do realize not all Ryans are created equally, and I'm talking about obviously Buddy Ryan, Rex Ryan, Rob Ryan, and I know Rob Ryan isn't really in the league anymore. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Saints did fire him already. So it's kind of hard to say this about him as the Saints continue to look bad. But this is his defense still, for the most part. Like, I believe this is his personnel, and I'm just looking at it, I'm like, all Ryans aren't created equally, and it's weird because so let's put this in a weird perspective, because and you see it, like it's like Rob didn't get it. Like, Rob just didn't quite get it. Like, Rex got it. Like, Rex picked up some, Rex got it. He picked up some pointers here and there. Like, Bob was it. Like, I don't remember much about the 46 Bears. I don't remember anything about them 46 Bears, whatever they want to call them. So, but it's like not Rob. So we had Buddy, and Buddy had the mold. Buddy set the mold. He had that 46 Bear defense, and he was muscling through people, running them over, and just hitting them any kinds of way, and just going undefeated, and had an immaculate defense. And then he had twin boys, and you're like, okay, and you gotta think about this as like a Japanese anime kind of, superhero kind of thing. And you're like, okay, I got these two boys, and I'm finally now get to bestow everything that I know onto them. And you're watching them train, and they're going through their thing, and they're wata. And they're going through their lessons, and they're going through the whole motion, and you're seeing progressively that, while they both have talent, there's a natural gift for it, right? You see that one is just progressing way further than the other. And that's what Rex was. Like, Rex got it, and you see that Rex got it. And it took Rex to do two things to get it. Cut his hair, lost some weight. Bam. All of a sudden, he moves from defensive coach to head coach now. And it's awesome for him. And he understood, and granted, he had one of my favorite defensive players of all time. There's only one person that I like more than him, and that's because he was just as braggadocious as him, and he shares my last name, and that was Lawrence Taylor. But he had Ray Lewis in Baltimore as well. That helped them out. But look at Rex. Rex ain't changed. Rex just cut his hair and lost some weight. Still the same smack talker. Still as braggadocious as ever. And this is what I tell you. That a couple years ago, they were talking about giving Rob a head coach job in this league if he would just clean up. Like, he just didn't. Like, Rob happened to be the Ryan that didn't get it. All Ryans weren't created equally. Like, he just didn't get it. And then you see even more now, like, okay, you know what? Didn't want to lose weight, didn't want to cut his hair. Great. Stay a defensive coordinator. Was he upset about that because of that? Was his defense being bad? Him saying, like, trying to stick it to the league, like, oh, you won't take me how it is? I'll make this great team stink? I don't know. Really don't know what happened there. But he didn't get it. And his team's defense sucks. And he can't get players there. And it's weird that you can't get defensive players, or you can't either develop a defense, or get defensive players to come play for New Orleans with Drew Brees and for Ryan defense. Something happened there. And I'm blaming it on Rob. He's the disconnect. Like, he in his own team compass of that family team compass that they have, like, yeah, he's that weak link. I'm gonna take myself another break real quick. We'll be back. Listen to this.
They didn't join this team to win championships or become famous. They joined because there is important work to be done, and only some able to do it. They are brighter, better educated, led, and equipped than any team in history. They are doctors, lawyers, engineers, technologists, and combat troops, all prepared for whatever comes their way. You'll find them where the lights don't flash, and the only contract they sign is with themselves and their country. One day, they may be asked what they did to make a difference in this world, and they can respond, I became a soldier.
And we're back. So, talking about teams, right? Still talking about teams here. And right now we're in that season where we're about to figure out who the best team is in college football. As the National Football College ranking comes out. And I'm not going to lie to you, one single bit, not even for half a second. I don't know much about college football. Don't watch enough of it. You know, college football always, like I'm not gonna lie to you, the end of the season snuck up on me. Like, I did not realize that it was over, but I was also in school at the time. But no, that's not, like, so, I didn't know much about it. So, I'm gonna tell you what I did know, or what stood out to me. Excuse me. I think another one of these coming up. MyT. Right? So, they come out and it's Clemson, Alabama. Oh, this is what I see. Clemson, Alabama, Michigan, Oklahoma. Right? And automatically I'm like, huh. This is how I broke it down. Clemson must be pretty good. I had no clue Clemson had a decent enough team to be ranked number one. Didn't hear much about them even throughout the season. Didn't remember hearing about them last season or the season before as up and coming teams, you know, or even as contenders. You know, I remember hearing a lot about, like, BYU's and TCU's, not BYU's, Boise State's and TCU's and VCU's. Don't remember anything about Clemson. So Clemson was sneaky good this year. Then came the one team that I do know about, but I did recognize. Alabama. Roll Tide. That's about about all I know about Alabama football and Nick Saban. And the fact that they're there basically every year. Yeah. They were there with Jameis Winston last year and the year before. Was that them? No, that's Florida. What am I saying? See? Crazy. I know they're there about every single year. And that's all you hear about is that Roll Tide and that Alabama and them just marching along. And Nick Saban being in something. Now the next one was funny. Because I was like, oh, Michigan? Now, granted, I don't follow enough college because of this one little thing. Michigan State. Oklahoma State. That is the most annoying thing to me. So, me not knowing my right from my left, basically, when it comes to that, I hear Michigan. Only one thing of Michigan comes to my mind. And I'm like, Harbaugh had them boys playing hard. Like, look at this. Is this what Harbaugh did his first year? Right? That was my initial thought. And then I looked it up. And I'm like, oh, this is the Wolverines, not the Spartans, or the Spartans, not the Wolverines. This is Michigan State. And that's the Wolverines. I looked it up. And his team is the Spartans. I don't know. Something like that order. I told you, I don't know my right or left. So they're in it. And that game is no longer as exciting for me anymore. Like, I'm sorry. I thought Alabama was going to play hardball. That game was about to be exciting for me. Now, it's Alabama versus Michigan. And just because I know Alabama more, I'm taking Alabama. Then we have Oklahoma as a number 4 team. The only thing about Oklahoma is that I have a homegirl that's from Oklahoma. Oklahoma? Is that where Tulsa? Yeah. Okay, see. Oklahoma City. Yeah, that's because she likes the Thunder. So, I congratulated her. Ironically, it's the same person I congratulated. The same homegirl I was just talking about, that she just got an A- on her test. I'll tell you how ironic that was. Because here I am, getting ready to do the show, and I've been meaning to congratulate her about Oklahoma making it to the playoffs. Not knowing if it's her Oklahoma, because I don't know if it's Oklahoma or Oklahoma State. Remember, left or right thing. So I texted that. She had just stepped out of her class from taking her final. She had taken probably about 3 steps out. This is what I was reading in text message, as I'm doing the show. That she had taken about 3 steps out of class from just finishing her finals, and she got my text message saying congratulations. Then her grade later came in, and she realized she got an A-. So she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you sent me this." Blah blah blah. Me, amazing friend. I'm praised. Cheers. The crowd goes wild. Oh man. And that's it. College football. I'll watch if I remember. And that's the bad thing about it. I'll watch if I remember, because that's how I am about college sports, especially about college football. Like, you can get me to catch like the Sweet 16, the NCAA bracket tournament, but yeah, I'll catch it if I remember. New Year's, I think. We'll see if I'm even sober. Talk about remember. We'll see if I'm sober anywhere near a TV or awake. Man. But you know what I do watch? I do watch the NBA. And I'm going to ask this question off the bat. Early on, right now in the season, as we're only about a quarter through the season, 25 games in, which race is more interesting to you right now? The MVP race or the Rookie of the Year race? Because to me, and let me see why I ask this. So let me see where I'm coming from. Once again, this comes from the fact that I happen to be a Knicks fan. So I am always watching the guy that the rest of the league is raving about as a 7'3" Lithuanian guy that, blah, 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 this, that, and the third, XYZ. So I'm watching him consistently to And I don't watch enough Okafor because it's hard to watch the 76ers. I know I said last week, if Kobe Bryant wasn't on the Lakers, I couldn't watch the Lakers either. Actually, I can't watch the Lakers. I don't finish Laker games. Once they start getting blown out, I really don't care to see, because then it's even more of a green light for Kobe just to start jacking up shots. Can't do it, B. Like, I'm sorry. Like, he's playing some bad basketball right now. Like, bad basketball. Like, I'm pretty sure if this wasn't his last season, he would have been sitting down injured. But he realized, like, something is off, and what he's realizing is off is him. Can't watch him. Won't do him. I love me some Kobe too. Like, this is like watching Michael in Washington. Like, you getting blocked by Sean Marion. Like, you know, Sean Marion has continued to be an athletic freak for some time now. You know, but. So, like I said, I get to watch Porzingis play, and I don't get to watch enough of Okafor and the 76ers. So, I'm curious, which most valuable is more interesting to you? The most valuable player or the most valuable rookie right now? Like, who's more interesting? Like, I can say who's more important. Which race is more interesting? Because if Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors continue to go on this historic pace where they're shellacking every single team, and their point differential continues to be 14 points a game, which continues to be higher than any other team out there, what are we supposed to do? Like, do you not just, like, is that not just say Curry is the best? Because I told you, he's overshadowed Curry, and what he's doing with Golden State Warriors, he's overshadowing Kobe's retirement. Right? We're not talking about that. More than anything else, he's also overshadowing what LeBron James is doing in Cleveland. And while you may be saying, like, yeah, we get LeBron fatigue or whatever, if Golden State wasn't looking the way that they are looking right now, we would have no other choice but to talk about LeBron James' MVP caliber season, as he has Cleveland as the top of the Eastern Division. Like, him getting his team to the top of the Eastern Division isn't what he does. This is his MO. This is what... He knows how to lead his... Listen, you know what? More than any other time, I may be inclined to call LeBron James a king. Because LeBron James is probably the ultimate king of kings. Kings know how to lead their troops into battle, but when it comes to fighting and helping win the war themselves, they usually fall short. They usually have much better soldiers than they all of them themselves as fighters, and LeBron James just never, he takes it off over the top. And when he did, he had much better soldiers. Hall of Fame players like Dwayne Wade. He needed Hall of Famers to win. It's okay. Couldn't develop them. Oh my God, I don't want to go with that tirade. I really don't. So, if he continues to do what he's doing, I don't see there being much of a discussion, because what's gonna happen is that, along with the excitement of what the team is doing and package everything else, it's just gonna go along with the flow that, yeah, you know what, he's MVP as well, and we're just gonna go ahead and concede this thing as well, as his team wins more than 72 games, as they have a winning differential over 12, as they win more than 33 consecutive games in the season. Like, they're on pace to have monster numbers. So when you're doing all of that everything that their team is doing is actually more exciting than what that individual award is. So that individual award doesn't have the same glitz and glamour to it, because it's tied into what they're overall doing as a team. Then yeah, this Rookie of the Year thing with Okafor and Porzingis starts to become a hot button to me. Like, can these two guys continue to put up numbers with two very separate real challenges ahead of them? Okafor's on a team that doesn't want to win for nothing. Like, his management and ownership group does not want to win. Like, the NBA had to implant a person in there to start making better decisions for this team. So, Okafor finds himself where he's gonna be putting up numbers, like ridiculous numbers on a bad team, and what I want to know is that, are we gonna reward him with Rookie of the Year for that? Because he showed that he can do what he's always been able to do on a team that has nobody else that can even score. Because Philly's bad. Like, when I say Philly's bad, like, San Antonio flat out showed how bad Philly is. Like, that's that was probably the most brutal thing out there. Was San Antonio. I'll come back to this Rookie of the Year thing. I'm done. I'm gonna be pretty much done with that. San Antonio showed how bad they are. Like, they executed the living bejesus out of them with key starters out, and you see that they had nothing. I mean, nothing. That was pretty bad, wasn't it? But yeah, that's how bad their play is as well. Like, God, they executed them into submission. They tapped. That's what they did. They tapped out, and then they didn't break the hole once they were tapping. And then you know what they did after that? They reached for the ropes, and after they reached for the ropes, they still did. San Antonio still didn't break the hole. So they had them tapping, screaming, begging to break the hole. They managed to crawl outside the ring, and they still had to tap. They still had to hold on. Until, you know what, they just had to be broken up by the whole entire locker room and officials. They beat them into submission. And yet, Okafor come away with Rookie of the Year. But Porzingis and his double-doubles and his blocks and his his shooting percentage, and as the points slowly start to go up, and like I said, this next game I believe is on, and I need to go start watching that. I said, was that a Knicks game or was that just Knicks news? Oh, no, that was definitely the Knicks game. Okay. As I just saw, the Knicks are down 11-29 in the first quarter to Utah. What the fudge, man? These are those games that piss me off. Like, come on. So yeah, I can't wait to. I'm gonna have to end this soon. Actually, this is gonna be ending soon, just out of the natural recourses of things. Like, even as I left off a couple of topics, and I may just go back and retouch. That Rookie of the Year talk is very interesting to me. So I'm gonna say, and maybe only because for the first time in years, like, the Knicks have a player that's in the Rookie of the Year. Maybe why it's interesting to me. I don't know. I don't know if I'm making the Rookie of the Year to be more this year than it normally should be, because I'm a Knicks fan, and there is this 7'3" guy that is more Dirk-like in Dirk's third and fourth year than he was Dirk-like in Dirk's rookie season. Even though he just got schooled by Dirk. Like, completely, like, oh, man, that was another tough game to watch. I was going back and forth because I couldn't watch the football game was on at the time. That gave me difficulties to watch. Was that on at the same time? Dallas Cowboys? That was Monday. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about Monday. That was bad. That was a bad sports night. Because I'm over here trying to watch this Dallas game, and they're looking horrific early on, and nothing about... I'm sorry, not Dallas game. Was it Dallas? Yeah. That was Monday Night Football. It happened to be Dallas and New York, and then Dallas and Washington. So, I can't watch the Knicks game because Dallas is just shellacking the Knicks. Like Dirk is schooling him, man. He's real, and Porzingis learned real early that you're gonna have to put a little bit more body on Dirk, not give him all that room. Dirk isn't so frustrating. You have the feet and basketball IQ to keep up with point guards and shooting guards as they try to penetrate the rim, but not enough to know that you should put a body on Dirk and not give him like a wide open shot, because you have the length to challenge all his shots, and you know that he can't put the ball on the floor to get around you. So if he is gonna shoot over you, everything he takes is gonna be that Dirk away. But instead, you gave him all the room, and now you got a Dirk in the box. Putting up numbers in the box score, that is. Yeah, there's a Dirk in the box. That's that madness that was going on Monday. I couldn't watch that Knicks game early, and then I couldn't watch the Dallas-Washington game early, and then some part of me was like, you know what, continue watching, because this division game and it was still kind of close, and then all hell breaks loose in the fourth quarter. All hell. I mean, another field goal is made, field goal is missed. LaShawn McCoy fumbles a ball. You know, there's a Dallas scored and there's a Washington scored, and we go into overtime, and then there's a kick that's made and there's a kick that's missed, and you're like, whoa. Cause that's basically what happened. Like, it went from Dallas drives, first down, second and whatever, third and whatever, punt. Washington drives, first and whatever, second and whatever, first down Washington, second and whatever, third and whatever, punt the ball. And that's basically what he meant, because this was a kicking fiasco for basically 3 quarters, as it was like 9-6 for most part of the game. And then all of a sudden, we get just pure speed. We get missed kick, made kick. Missed kick, made kick. We have Deshaun Jackson trying to run back a kick, and he fumbles the ball, and Dallas gets the ball back, and Dallas scores. And then next you know, he wants to redeem himself, and he gets another one. He wants to reverse this and reverse that and reverse this and reverse that, but no, he doesn't get that. And then he get the ball back, and then they do another bomb, and then he gets the ball, and he gets a touchdown. And now he's doing his hot flying wire act, and he's over there getting the ball. And next you know, you get Dallas come back and get the ball, and now when he ties the ball, and then you know, we go back into overtime, and bam, like, it's madness. Oh, madness. And that's also how I felt like, for the most part, like the Jets and Giants game went. Like, it was a whole bunch of chaos all over the place for a good portion of the time, and then, bam, things got serious. But you have Odell Beckham kicking the ball, causing delay of games, giving the Jets first downs. Ryan Fitzpatrick doing what Ryan Fitzpatrick does and driving the Jets back down for another, to get another touchdown. As we have another game where Brandon Marshall is just doing what Brandon Marshall does and getting another 100 points as Brandon Marshall puts up another 1,000-yard, year. As Jason Witten for Dallas Cowboys puts up 1,000 yards 1,000 receptions for his career. Makes me wonder, as now I think he joins the light of Tony Gonzalez as the only tight end to do this, right? I wonder, if Vernon Davis got traded, is Vernon Davis going to be able to match that? Be able to get there? Did Jimmy Graham hurt himself by not sticking with Drew Brees on possibly getting that 1,000 receptions? Let's see, how good is Jimmy Graham now? Will Gronk get it? I already asked about Vernon Davis. Will Gronk hurt his chances? So that's gonna be interesting, especially as I wonder how that 1,000 receptions is gonna start looking, especially when wide receivers, not even wide receivers, but tight ends are just starting to get used so much more now. MVP for not just the NBA, the NFL, a little quirky. We have the Cam Newton that's now, because I'm curious now. Are we ready? Because Tom Brady's now lost 2 in a row. You know what I mean? This isn't like Tom Brady just lost one, and we're like, okay, well, he still only just lost that one game again, and he lost it against Denver. So, you know, we're going to still consider him the best, you know, because he's still giving the proverbial middle finger to the NFL with that one loss. You know, like it just sticks out like that. No. That's not what it looks like anymore. That two curls and it curves. That looks a little deflated. It looks like a one that's lost some steam. You know, like that's what a two looks like. Like a two, like, oh, I lost steam, so I flattened out at the bottom. And I can't hold the top up anymore because I lost all that steam. So now I've curved over at the top. And you see? And if you just do it with your hand, you just made it two. You also look like you have a weak wrist, but you have a two. So it definitely makes you wonder now. As Cam sits there as the only undefeated, as a quarterback of the only undefeated team, are we ready to concede that he is the MVP of this league? Like, what more does he have to do? Does he have to continue winning out? You know, can he lose 2 games and still be considered the best, considered MVP? Because coming up next, I mean, where are we here? Where are you at? As we look through Carolina's records, they have the Giants. So they have Atlanta this week, which is a division game. Then you have the Giants that may still be playing for their playoff berths, right? And we know how the Giants can make end of season runs. They have Atlanta again. So now that's the same team that you're playing within a 2-week time period. Or a 14-day time period. 2-week time period. And their very last game, Carolina has Tampa Bay. That's the other one. So, another division. We're gonna wonder, as Jameis Winston has been coming on, and that game's gonna be interesting as we see like a new Cam and the old Cam. You know, with that game, is Vincent Jackson gonna be healthy? How? Actually, I don't think. Actually, yeah. How is Mike Evans gonna be looking that game? How is James Winston going to manage that game? Is it going to be too much of a spotlight? Remember, they're going to be in Carolina. Interesting to see. Can Carolina drop any of those games and for Cam Newton to still be considered MVP? So until that's determined, like I said, we basically have 5 MVP candidates. And not for nothing, we can even say 6 because I don't want to. If I'm going to say Carson Palmer, right? Obviously. Carson Palmer and his team are sitting 10-2. Tom Brady, New England Patriots, also sitting 10-2. Andy Dalton, Cincinnati Bengals, 10-2. There goes 3 right there. I told you, Cam's already in there, so that's 4. Now, if I put in Adrian Peterson for 8-4 Minnesota, do I by default have to put in an 8-4 Green Bay Packers Aaron Rodgers? Because Aaron Rodgers happens to be that namesake? I want to know. Because we're not putting in Peyton Manning. So is this open up to 6 now? Or there's 6 potential? And I say potential MVP candidates because if Cam Newton stays undefeated with the Carolina Panthers, you give it to him. You don't question it. You don't come up with ifs and ands, buts, maybes, hyperboles, stories, haikus, soliloquies. I don't care. There's nothing you can say. You give that man MVP and you go on your way. It's the end of the day. Yay. So. Oh, man. Now, that MVP race is a little bit more interesting than the NBA's MVP race. And across all of this, NBA, NFL, hockey, whoever, you hear them talking and you hear the birds chirping. Are steroids going to be able to make a comeback in Major League Sports? And that's weird to say, right? Like, oh, what do you mean comeback? A legal comeback. What do you mean a legal comeback? Because also, you know what? Steroids haven't gone away legally in sports. There are all kinds of steroids that people can take and or take, but but specifically they're talking about HGH and recovery for like Achilles tears or any kind of tendon tears, ACL. I think it's that ACL tears. You know, so it's gonna be interesting to see as we're getting remember technology. Technology makes everything awesome, right? Because it helps to shrink the world and helps bring information. It makes information flow faster, helps to obtain answers faster. And if there's a way that they can monitor this and regulate it within their league, like if a player is injured, after you go through XYZ doctor and XYZ this and you're going through your rehab, yeah, man, have them be able to, okay, you know what? If you need this particular thing, or if your doctor says, yes, you can, this will be helpful for your thing, then now you come and see the league's doctors and the league's whoever, and we will administer this portion of your rehab. We'll see what the NFL does. I don't know. But they're being talked about it, and it may be interesting because remember, players want to play longer. Like contracts are getting ridiculous. We're talking about like DNBs are getting $8 million contracts per year. You know, $12 million contracts per year for being a great rebounder, for being don't ever try with a wide receiver, but mediocre. I'm not talking about shit. I'm talking about Crabtree. You know what I mean? So we gonna see. We gonna see if steroids helps make a comeback, as players are gonna want to help recover, get their bodies right, give themselves that extra boost and longevity to play this game and make as much money as possible. And if it does make a come in to the league, is that gonna force players to start having to stay in college longer because they're realizing that these players aren't leaving? I don't know. We'll see. But we will see. We're going to see a whole lot. But, you know, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out to listen. You know, just give me your time, your day. You can catch me all over the place. I'm on Facebook, the MyT Sports Minute, or just MyT Sports. Search that, you'll find me. Instagram, the MyT Sports. You already know where I'm at on SoundCloud, because most likely this is where you're listening to this at, on SoundCloud, the MyT Sports Minute. Facebook, you get everything, all kinds of contact, this and everything more. I don't have an Instagram page for that. My Instagram, I'm keeping it a little personal. I have no more for you. It's about 10 o'clock at night. We're finishing up. I'm going to go catch me this next game, see what else is on. I gotta check out this. Check out the ESPN W's Top Impact 25. You have to check this out. That's one of the things I'm gonna be checking out before the end of this week. I just recently shared it on the group page that I've started for the Female Fantasy Football League that I want to start next week. So yeah, thank you guys again for listening. Thank you guys for following. Thank you guys for your support and everything.
Sorry, boys. All the stitches